Hey YouTube, it's Frisky Dingo here, getting back with you guys with another reaction slash review video. Today we're doing the great exodus of Activision slash Blizzard. Unfortunately, I think it's just really crazy that this is all happening around the same exact time when Jeff Kaplan decides to leave his long, tenuous job at Blizzard slash Activision. And sometimes I do think that Jeff kind of knew already what was happening in the corporate culture that existed already, and kind of left so that he could get ahead of the bullet before he actually was going to be attacked, through media, through news outlets, and so on and so forth. And unfortunately, I think this just exposes the bigger up structure of corporate businesses being able to basically finagle their way into this type of environment and then finagle their way out of it. It's going to be really interesting to see how Activision slash Blizzard handles this moving forward. A lot of companies, very different in the way that they handle these type of situations. I think with Activision slash Blizzard, they're doing the proper thing as of right now, firing the people who had anything to do with the sexual assault and or sexual harassment, and then also cleaning up of executives, removing people who allowed this type of energy to really exist within the format. And I think that's the most important part for everyone, that the cancer is removed, and now moving forward you can have a better environment that's conducive to what people actually want. And I think that's the most important part. They fired female directors, they fired male directors, they fired longtime female employees who allowed the behavior to happen, they fired longtime male employees who allowed the behavior to happen for a long time. So I think it's interesting to see how they're going to move forward in the sense of fixing the corporate structure. But I do think that Jeff Kaplan kind of knew what was going on. He knew exactly what was going on, and that's why he left so abruptly. It's definitely not weird or not a coincidence that Jeff Kaplan literally leaves within 6 months of a massive exposure to Overwatch. And mind you, Overwatch was his baby, so this is a very peculiar situation for Jeff would have been in, to be able to move the Overwatch community forward, but also having these sexual harassment cases. Honestly, I think the fallback of this entire situation is going to be Overwatch and Diablo. I think those two games the most are going to definitely take a hit in the sense of production and release date. I definitely do believe that Overwatch is going to be coming out in 2023, 2024. I don't see it coming out 2021, which we're in now, 2022. No, 2023, maybe. 2024, 2025, most likely. I believe the same exact thing with Diablo, since Diablo had a little bit, I think from what I've seen, Diablo and Overwatch have had a huge amount of production being done, but I don't see Diablo anywhere close to Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is a completely more fleshed out game. So Diablo is I hate to say this, but I don't think Diablo is coming out for an extremely long time. Even when you looked at what they've released, the game isn't done yet. Overwatch is in more complete form, and overall it makes this entire situation makes Blizzard and Activision look bad. The biggest part it makes Blizzard and Activision look bad is because now this type of case means they lose sponsors. Losing sponsorship means money for production of video games, which means a slowdown. So it's going to expose a lot of problems with Activision slash Blizzard. I think one of the biggest ones is that a lot of people didn't understand when Activision joined with Blizzard, they kind of was trying to basically remove themselves from the crazy corporate gaming structure that's going on now. Now, a lot of people will say things have not changed. A lot of people will say that the quality of games Activision has been releasing is actually better than what it was before. A lot of mixed opinions, but one thing I can tell is that it's definitely going to slow the process of making these games between these two companies. When you lose millions of dollars in sponsorship, you lose millions of dollars in gaming usury. unfortunately, you get to the point where we're looking at now where a lot of people just overall believe that this game is not going to come out anytime soon. And I mean, I think I'm the biggest critic, honestly. I've seen a lot of responses online. I think I'm the only one that actually has said that Overwatch 2 is not coming out until 2025. I've said that very clearly in a lot of my posts. And I will continue to have that same sentiment because I've been a Blizzard fan since 2004. You can't fool a OG Blizzard fan. I'm sorry, guys, but the reality is you just can't fool a OG Blizzard fan. And what I mean by that is you can't fool an OG Blizzard fan in the sense of games being released, content being released. You're talking to the same group of fans that had to wait, 5 to 6 years for a new World of Warcraft to come out, and it came out and it was horrible. It was almost 10 years. It came out, it was bad. Then you have the whole StarCraft situation. That was a bad situation, 1 and 2. The fact that 2 took so long to come out, and then the same thing with Diablo. The time between Diablo 1 and 2 was way too much of a big gap. And then on top of that, Diablo 3 gap between Diablo 4 is extremely long. And then Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 now. It's way too long. The fans are not happy. The way the industry currently is, it's not set up for video game companies to be dropping games every 3 to 4 years anymore. We see this with movies, we see this with apps, we see this with manga, we see this with comic books, we see this with a lot of mediums that are existing. The time in which people consume mediums are so fast. So at this point, you cannot keep that old model that worked in the 90s and late 2000s, in early 2000s now. And that's why we're seeing the massive gap. And I understand, well, a lot of Blizzard fans are going to say, well, that's their niche, that's their, that's the environment that they like to create. It's not an environment because unfortunately, Blizzard / Activision is a traded public company, meaning that they have investors they need to obey the law to. They have a board that they need to adhere to. There's a lot of moving pieces, and that being said, they're not the independent video game company that they were before. So all understanding of how they need to move forward needs to be completely removed. And I honestly think that this can create a good environment and it can create a bad environment. Blizzard, what they're gonna have to do moving forward is start to, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but they're gonna have to pick up the speed on the production of video games. That's going to be the first thing. The second thing is a more cohesive game releases, opening up more to the market. It cannot be Blizzard cannot continue to do what it's doing now. After this lawsuit, with the amount of money that they've lost, it cannot continue to have the same formula. It cannot continue to have the same model. It's not going to be sustainable. And the only person that's going to hurt is the gamers. We're the ones that are going to hurt the most because these are games we play every day. I've played Overwatch consistently since it's come out. Being said, Overwatch is the big reason why I switched over from platform to PC. I had a PlayStation 4. I was always a PlayStation fan, always rocked with the consoles. And then one day I said, I want a better Overwatch experience. So I went and started saving up to get a PC, and that's where I'm at now. And that's how you got me, Frisky Dingo, today on YouTube doing videos. So without Overwatch, you guys possibly would never have me on YouTube doing videos and talking to you guys and doing all that. And that's the real truth. Like, Overwatch was a big thing for me. I played it all the time. It's one of my favorite games. And then Diablo 3, I'm not going to lie, right? I played the original Diablo 2 back on the day, like 98, 99. I can't really say much about it. All I can really say is that I enjoyed the game back then. And then playing Diablo 3 now, because I bought it like within this last year. I think last year of COVID, I actually bought Diablo 3. And then I ended up, what did I end up doing? I ended up buying the expansions and the Necromancer pack, and I'm currently playing it now. So that's all I could really say. I think Blizzard can fix the situation moving forward. It's going to need a lot of pieces. Not that many people are extremely happy, and it's going to be a long process, but I think as a whole, Blizzard knows the industry, so I think it is a possibility that they can move forward. And if they do and we get any more news, I'm going to be right here to break it down with you guys. So, you know what, guys? I'll definitely see you guys in the next one.